Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW West Texas.
Using their hands, and then it is when students are also talking to each other. There's a lot of research about student discourse and how important it is for students to explain their thinking and to justify their thinking and explain their why.
Back to school season is upon us, and the MISD curriculum is going to look a little different for incoming students this year. We tell you what changes students can expect to see in their math and English classes coming up in a few minutes. Thanks for joining us for CBS7 News on the CW, and thanks for joining us live on the CBS7 YouTube. I'm Mary Kate Hamilton. We start tonight tracking crime. Some of you may have seen heavy police presence near Parker Elementary in Midland this evening. According to the city, Midland police responded to reports of a man who shot the window out of a car in the Target parking lot near Midland Drive and Loop 250. When they arrived, they learned that he had fled north in the direction of Parker Elementary School. Midland ISD police assisted, and Parker Elementary staff went on lockdown as officers searched. The suspect was found a little later and apprehended near the intersection of Midkiff and Wadley. It was then determined that the gun used was a BB gun. No injuries were reported. MISD students will be returning to the classroom next week, but the way they learn math and reading is going to be different. MISD K-5 schools will be implementing STEM scopes for math and reading. This will be the first year for the district, and they say these new processes will allow children to build a better educational foundation.
We went through a whole process and a committee, and we chose to have STEM scopes be the new math resource that we're using in K-5 math classrooms this year.
So structured literacy gives us the tools to provide our students with what they need to learn how to read.
The new math curriculum is research-based, while the English is based around structured literacy. This new way of learning should give teachers an idea of what to teach and how to teach it.
The structured literacy world has given us some ideas of what to teach and in what order to teach it, and then we make sure that we teach it explicitly. But how students practice is still fun and engaging and hands-on.
MISD started this learning overhaul last year, but other Texas school districts already have STEM scopes in their curriculum because it is aligned with TEX. We're going to talk your weather forecast now. It was a scorcher, but at least a little bit of relief is on the way. We're going to check in with Chief Meteorologist Tom Teefer-Teller. Tom?
Yeah, some help is in the forecast, and we need it after looking at temperatures like this today. Here are the high temperatures across the Permian Basin and West Texas. Monahans all the way up to 108 degrees, 107 in Big Spring, 108 in Wink. Top spot was 111 down at Rio Grande Village earlier today, and you can see it's rare for us to get above 105 here in the Permian Basin, but we did it today with 106 in Midland and Odessa. Big Spring trying to cool off as we see temperatures into the upper 90s still here at the 9 o'clock hour, but at least we're getting out of triple digits for most areas, but still 103 in Rio Grande Village. And we're carrying an east wind to a southeast wind, so that's bringing in a hint of moisture. We saw that in some of the clouds that moved across the area today, and those clouds are going to be a little more prevalent coming up tomorrow, so it's going to be a very mild overnight. And then tomorrow we're going to stay out of triple digits. It's still going to be hot though in the upper 90s, but an isolated thunderstorm chance is returning to the forecast.
West Texas Congressman and U.S. Air Force Reserve Officer August Pfluger will be spending the next few weeks fulfilling his commitments as a reserve officer in the U.S. Air Force. Before taking office, Congressman Pfluger served 20 years as a decorated fighter pilot and still serves as a colonel in the Air Force Reserves. Like we said, Pfluger will spend the next few weeks serving in that role, and he said in a statement, quote, "During this time, my staff and offices will remain open and fully available to you. Thank you for your understanding and support as I carry out this aspect of my public service," end quote. Midland native Bryce Hoppel is getting ready to run in the 800-meter semifinals tomorrow morning. Hoppel's high school coach described him as humble, kind, and, of course, fast. He says these qualities helped shape him into the athlete he is today. According to his coach, Hoppel always had dreams of becoming an Olympian.
He was like, "Coach, I'm going to be an Olympian." And I mean, it was like, yeah, you are. I mean, it was just a statement, and there was no doubt that I was like, yeah, you will be someday.
Excuse Hopple's athletic talent has all of West Texas on the edge of their seats. Before his big race tomorrow, Coach Ochoa has one last piece of advice for Hopple.
Before you get out there, just think of something that brings peace to you, and then you go do what Bryce Hopple does, and that's a win.
Be sure to tune in to Wake Up West Texas tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Our Lauren Munt will be live from a watch party as Bryce's friends and family gather to see him race. In local college football, there's some great news. Coming into the 50th year of UT Permian Basin and months after winning their first ever Lone Star Conference championship, UTPB announced free admission to all Falcon home games this season. Earlier today, Falcons head coach Chris McCullough spoke about what it means to give back to the local community.
Year one of UTPB football, right? Those that were here, you saw 10s, 12,000, 13,000 people at some of those games. I think this is an opportunity for us to get back to those days. And West Texas football, everybody thinks about Friday night lights. Well, now we have Saturday night lights and we have Saturday night champions. So we want the whole community to come back, to come see what this team has, what this product on the field is going to be.
During today's press conference, Chris McCullough was gifted with a letter from Congressman August Pfluger, congratulating him and the team on last year's Lone Star Conference championship. McCullough was also gifted with a framed piece of a New York Times article about him being the youngest head coach in the nation to win a conference title. Pretty cool. If you are looking to get involved in your community, the City of Midland has board and commission positions open for anyone interested. Midland city officials are encouraging residents to apply for them. According to the city, there are around 30 openings across 20 different boards. These positions allow residents to contribute to their community and help Midland grow.
I see the need for more citizens to get involved so that they can actually see how boards and commissions work, and so that they can actually get to know the ins and outs of what happens in those boards, what happens at those meetings, and how it affects everything that's going on here in the city.
These roles are open to all residents, and a list of vacancies can be found on our website, CBS7.com. The deadline for applications is tomorrow. The Midland Planning and Zoning Commissioners has recommended that the City Council deny the Midland YMCA's specific use designation request for its Northwest Midland expansion. Now let me explain. The Northwest expansion wants to request a time frame to offer childcare from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. They say this will help better meet the needs of working families. But the Planning and Zoning Commission says it should be shortened to 7:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. because of the traffic near the property.
What we're requesting is to be able to have a set number of children during the working hours of the day, rather than having the capacity of 200 people in the building. We're just assuming that number of kids at any hour of the day. We're trying to ask for a more limited time frame.
The Midland City Council will make their final decision August 27th. The Northside Senior Center Annual Health Fair was today. Several health vendors and providers attended to help seniors with any questions they had about their health care. Free goodie bags and door prizes were also handed out. 25 providers were in attendance at today's event.
I would just like to thank all of our vendors and all the participants of today, and just say thank you for bringing such wonderful door prizes. And I would like to be sure and let everyone understand that we would love to have them back next year, and others.
The Northside Senior Center is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Their number can be found there at the bottom of your screen. A competitor in the CrossFit Games has died while competing in a swimming event this morning at Marine Creek in Fort Worth. Dawn White has the story.
Day one of the CrossFit competition started out with a 3.5-mile run and then an 800-meter swim here at Marine Creek Reservoir. It was during the swim portion of the race that something went terribly wrong. Fort Worth Fire Department found the 28-year-old athlete from Serbia about an hour into their search.
We were not here on scene prior to the initial 911 call for help. We had our dive teams come out. We had our arson investigators come out with their drones trying to help locate the missing person.
CrossFit is deeply saddened by the death of one of our athletes.
CrossFit CEO Dan Fall says it received a permit and certificate of insurance from the Tarrant Regional Water District.
For an event like this, a fully planned and documented safety plan. As you note, we had safety personnel on site throughout the event.
CrossFit is working closely with investigators as the community comes to terms with a young life taken too soon.
There's a lot of people in the community that are hurting right now, that are really sad, that knew the athlete well, that loved and respected this person, and a lot of people are mourning. And we want to do everything we can to support the community, to support the family.
CrossFit canceled the remaining events today and is still trying to figure out what to do with the rest of the week. In Fort Worth, Dawn White, CBS News, Texas.
Still ahead, the Texas Rangers celebrate their World Series victory at the White House. We'll show you highlights from their trip to D.C. after the break. The Texas Rangers were welcomed to the White House today. The Rangers defeated the Arizona Diamondbacks to win the 2023 World Series. Our Washington News Bureau correspondent Brendan Cullerton reports.
The first World Series victory in Ranger history means their first ever trip to the White House. The champs get their chance to meet President Joe Biden.
Welcome to the 2023 World Champions. Right here.
President Joe Biden says while titles are new to the Texas Rangers, the city of Dallas has no shortage of banners to fly.
Dallas-Fort Worth and the entire Metroplex. You're used to winning championships. I noticed that.
Manager Bruce Bochy has already visited the White House 3 times after winning championships with the Giants, but many experienced the trip for the first time.
Something I've always wanted to do, and to do it as a World Series champion is makes it even more special, I think.
9 months after their victory over the Diamondbacks and in the middle of a new season, players just tried to drink it all in.
Everybody inside, I feel like everybody has their own piece of history, and they're sharing that, the little information that the information that they have with us about, the artwork or the pieces of furniture. It's, probably got $1 million worth of furniture sitting there right next to you, and it's a little corner table.
Normally conducted on the South Lawn, the celebration was held inside because of rain. Following their visit here at the White House, the Rangers make their way to New York for a 3-game weekend series against the Yankees. From the White House, I'm Brendan Cullerton.
Well, we are going to be looking at a little less heat in our forecast for the weekend. We'll talk about it, how hot it got today, coming up next.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, taking a look at current temperatures, things haven't cooled off a lot from the 100 plus we had earlier today. Still into the upper 90s across the Midland, Odessa, Big Spring area, 99 in Monahans. As things are rather hot, and we're still hanging on to triple digits down there in the lower elevations of Big Bend National Park. Big reason why, big area high pressures moved right over into portions of West Texas. That's on the move, though, and is going to slide off to the west a little bit more. And as that happens, we are going to see more of this northerly flow in the upper levels start to bring a cold front down into the area. Now, this front has sparked off a few thunderstorms now, from around Clovis, Portales over towards the Lubbock area, north towards Plainview. Looks like all this is going to stay to our north and die out overnight tonight, but we're going to be watching it, though, as that front will slide down and set up shop again across parts of the northern Permian Basin tomorrow, and that could kick off some more scattered showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures were hot across the state today. Again, we saw them up to 105 out at the Midland National Air and Spaceport, 109 in Del Rio, 107 in Laredo, so most areas were hot and into triple-digit territory, except along the Texas Gulf Coast, but it felt like triple digits this afternoon when you add in all that humidity. Now, this futurecast is showing, again, most of the showers, thunder showers, staying off to the north tonight. Maybe one or two trickle in across parts of the northern Permian Basin into the early morning hours. And then tomorrow, once we get a little daytime heating, we're going to kick off some scattered showers and thunder showers with that front across parts of the eastern northern Permian Basin. This will affect Midland, Odessa, and Big Spring. But again, they'll be very isolated, only going for about a 10 to 20% chance out there for tomorrow afternoon. And we could see a little bit more try to form up coming up in Saturday as that front kind of pulls up stationary here across parts of the central Permian Basin. But temperatures will cool off just a couple of degrees, though, and will stay out of triple digits, it looks like, coming up before the start of the weekend. Tonight, it is going to be very mild to warm, only the mid-70s out there. Even though we're carrying an east wind, we'll see that pay off tomorrow, with temperatures again topping out into the upper 90s and a lot less in the way of triple digits in our forecast, with an isolated shower, thunder shower chance Friday lingering into Saturday. But again, key word there is isolated. Then back into touching triple digits coming up on Sunday. And overall, we're going to see temperatures hot, upper 90s, low triple digits all the way through next week.
Still ahead, former President Donald Trump says he's ready to debate Vice President Harris. We bring you the latest from the campaign trail after the break. The Democratic presidential ticket continues to focus on battleground states, holding a rally in Michigan before heading to Arizona for events on Friday. This comes as former President Donald Trump held a press conference at his Mar-a-Lago home and announced he has agreed to 3 presidential debates. Skylar Henry has more details from the White House.
Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate, Governor Tim Walz, rallied with auto workers in Detroit Thursday afternoon.
Look, even if you're not a member of a union, you better thank unions. That 5-day work week. You better thank unions for that 8-hour work day. You better thank unions for that vacation time. So I'm here to say thank you.
The United Auto Workers have endorsed Harris and are planning to deploy union members across Michigan to help her win the state.
Now it's our turn to stand up, to speak up, and to show up for them.
Harris has picked up momentum since securing the nomination and naming Governor Walz as her VP choice, drawing thousands to hear her speak during the start of the campaign swing.
Are you worried at all about the size of Harris's crowds?
Oh, give me a break.
Former President Trump says Vice President Harris stole the nomination from President Biden, but he said he's happy to be facing her instead.
I haven't recalibrated strategy at all. It's the same policies, open borders, weak on crime. I think she's worse than Biden.
Trump says he has agreed to go up against Harris in 3 debates, all in September.
The other side has to agree to the terms. They may or may not agree. I don't know if they're going to agree. She hasn't done an interview. She can't do an interview. She's barely competent.
Trump also said the campaign has agreed to have Senator J.D. Vance face off against Governor Walz in a vice presidential debate on CBS. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Trump says there are still some what he called small details that need to be negotiated for the debates, including which cities they'll be held in and what kind of audiences will be able to be on hand. But he says those details can be settled very easily. Still ahead, Deadpool and Wolverine is breaking records at the box office. And now there's a piece of Deadpool-related history that could also break records. We'll tell you about it up next. Deadpool and Wolverine is shattering box office records, and now there's a piece of Deadpool-related comic book history that could smash a different record when it comes under the hammer at auction soon. Heritage Auctions is asking $7.5 million for the original art for Deadpool's first comic book cover. It was the cover of Marvel's New Mutants number 98, which introduced Deadpool to the world. This was only back in December 1990. If the cover art fetches its asking price, it will break the record for the priciest piece of original comic book art ever sold. That surprises me a lot because there's much older, more iconic comic book art out there.
It's based upon popularity, and you know, there's been some original artwork for comic books that are considered wonderful pieces of art. You know, they've made posters of certain comic book covers and things like that that have sold incredibly. So this is just adding to it.
I guess so. The current owner has had it for nearly 2 decades and has rebuffed numerous offers over the year, but looks like they're ready to sell now. So we'll have to check back in to see how much this goes for.
Yeah.
All I know for sure is that I can't afford it and I don't want it. So there we go. I'm off the market.
It might go for more than what they're talking about, from what I understand. But anyway, though, back in West Texas, it's just hot. We're going to get a little bit of a break from the triple digits over the next couple of days with an isolated thunderstorm chance in our forecast both Friday into Saturday. But the key thing to remember is very isolated overall, just hot and dry weather looks to be on the way.
All right, Tom, thank you. And thank you for watching CBS 7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW. We've got more news coming up at 10.